Welcome back to another video, and today I will be speaking about indoctrination. And to be frank, we are all indoctrinated in some way, big or small. Everyone on earth is indoctrinated. You are indoctrinated, whether you're 20 years old or 60 years old. You are indoctrinated. And this is a very big claim, you might ask. What do you mean I'm indoctrinated? No, I'm not. I'm pretty sure I'm not brainwashed in any way. Well, that right there is the issue, because you are brainwashed in some way. You are indoctrinated in some way. This is because when we are born and in childhood, all we can do, literally all we can do, is learn from what is around us. From our parents, the school system, whoever else is in your immediate environment. All you can do as a child is learn from these people, because this is survival, right? You have to learn from your environment for you to survive, for you to fit in. You have to do this. And you see this, and this is very obvious, right? You see this with children. They are very copycatish, you could say. Like, they just copy what you do, what you say, how you behave. They will copy you because they just want to learn. Like, all they can do is learn. They don't know anything. So whatever they learn from you, and whatever people put upon this child, it's just going to stick, right? It's going to stick with the child. Because when you're a child, remember, you don't have any high-level cognitive functions. You can't really think about what you're learning. Right? Thinking is, you don't even think, right? Because you don't compare what you're learning, you don't compare it to other knowledge you have, because you have no knowledge. For a child, anything they see, touch, smell, learn, that's just pure and utter fact. There's no ifs or buts. It's just, oh, my mom's doing this. Okay, I guess this is how I should be behaving. My dad said this. Okay, I guess I should do this as well. Oh, are we all racists? Okay, bet. I guess I'm a racist as well. Like, you see? It's not because the child is a bad child or a bad person and has become racist. No, it's just because the child was born in a racist environment. So naturally, the child will be racist. If you were born 100 years ago in America, in Alabama, you would be a racist as well. Not because you're a bad person, just because that's your environment. If I was born in Nazi Germany, I would be a Nazi. Not because I hate Jews or anything like that, just because that's where I was born, right? So you see, this is why when people say you are a product of your environment, this is quite literally what you are. And I don't mean your present environment, like your friends right now in the present moment. No, that statement, a product of your environment, is mostly, well, for me, it's mostly to do with your childhood environment. You are a product of that environment in very major ways. The good and the bad, and everything in between. And this is the issue, because we think we aren't indoctrinated. And that's very bad, because you are. And if you think you're not indoctrinated, then you wouldn't have the urge to figure out all of these hidden assumptions and beliefs that were instilled in you in your childhood. Not just by your parents and your friends, but also just by school. School plays a very big part in everyone's lives. Right? Like, you spend 16 to 18 years in school. Like, what you learn there has a major, significant impact on your life. And this is something we don't really talk about enough, just in mainstream media or just in general, how much we are indoctrinated in our childhood, because that's all we can do. We must be indoctrinated for us to survive. And this sounds so obvious though, right? It sounds so obvious. Of course a child is going to copy his or her parents. Of course the child is going to learn from his or her environment. Of course. That's so natural. You might still be in denial about this, but when you actually deep it, And when you internalize it, you will understand how significant this is on your everyday life and on your behavior. So I've mentioned a few things that do indoctrinate us in childhood, school, parents, or any parent-like figures. Friends can also do this. Social media nowadays, because that has a major impact on young children's lives, of course, and YouTube and all these things. And also just standard media like the news and TV and all that stuff. Because what you watch on TV when you're younger, the cartoons, things like this also has an impact on your worldview, right? Don't take those things for granted. Like those things have major impact as well. And this is why you have some parents who don't allow children to watch certain cartoons. I remember one time I was talking to this girl and I asked her, I think something about SpongeBob, right? Something about SpongeBob. And I was like, oh, do you know like SpongeBob? And she said, no. And I asked her, why? How can you not know SpongeBob? You didn't watch it? And then she said, no, my parents didn't allow me to watch those cartoons. And I thought, that's crazy. What do you mean? You didn't watch SpongeBob? What? But to be fair to her parents, like, yes, those cartoons do have an impact on children. So moving on to what is indoctrinated into us. And the first one is beliefs. Beliefs can, like any beliefs you have, like political, religious, and just any other day-to-day beliefs. This is very, very big. This is very major because the beliefs you have control a lot of you. The beliefs you have really, it controls how you behave, how you operate, how you think, how you interact, your actions, like your day-to-day actions. Beliefs are very crucial, and I think we all know this, right? If you're watching this video, you should understand and you should know how important and significant beliefs are. And the beliefs that we are bestowed upon in our childhood, since that was so long ago and we're so young, we often forget about these beliefs. We often grow up and then we forget, oh, my parents made me believe this thing, but I completely forgot about it. And that forgetting, when you forget about a belief, you start to think, oh, that's just who I am. That's just how I operate. You don't realize that, no, that's not really who you are. That's just a belief you are attached to. Right? I guess you could call these hidden beliefs. There's a lot of beliefs in you that are hidden. Just because you forgot about them, they were just indoctrinated into you a long, long time ago. You don't even notice them as actual beliefs. You just think it's part of who you are, but they're not. And I think, just imagine, I don't know how old you are, but if you're 50 years old and you've never taken indoctrination seriously, you've never done anything to do with introspection, if you're watching this right now and you're thinking, oh, shoot, you're telling me for the past 50 years, all my beliefs are because they were put upon me when I was a child. You're saying my core beliefs are not actually my beliefs, but they were just beliefs of my parents or my environment at the time. And all these years I've been attached to them. That could be a possibility. And that's scary, right? Imagine realizing that your beliefs are not actually your beliefs. Who you are is not actually who you are. Who you are is just a bunch of beliefs put upon you when you were a child. That's a scary realization. It makes you feel like the past 50 years you've been living a lie. Right? That's crazy. And this happens to people. Not even just happens. People go throughout their lives from when they're born to when they die, not even considering indoctrination or any hidden beliefs or none of this. So people go a full life without actually understanding that their beliefs they have been put upon them when they were a child. Right? Like that's how deep this concept is, right? It's not even a concept. It's just fact. It's just what happens in life. And the issue is when you have bad beliefs, limiting beliefs, then this is the issue. You are so attached to these limiting beliefs that were put on you when you were a child for your whole life. Imagine having limiting and bad beliefs for your whole life. That sucks. Humans are flawed. So parents are going to have flaws. They're going to put their flaws upon you. They're going to make you believe things that they believe. And what they believe might not be good. That's what I'm trying to say. So it's not that parents are bad. It's just like we are all flawed. Our beliefs are all going to be flawed. And that just happens. That's just natural occurrence of telling your children to believe what you believe. But what you believe might not be good, right? So you might end up being a racist or a sexist or whatever other crazy thing. But also, your parents could instill in you very good beliefs as well. Being kind to strangers, being a kind person in general, being generous, being loving in general, having good manners. These things can be instilled as well. And this is where it gets very important. Once you understand you are indoctrinated, you have to really dig deep and root out these bad beliefs. And not even just the bad beliefs, just dig deep and understand what beliefs you have. What beliefs were put upon you, just so you know. Just so you know, oh, okay, I have this belief, but this belief is actually good for me. It actually helps me every day, so I'm going to keep it. But at least now you know that you have that belief. You have acknowledged it and you understand that belief is within your belief system. And everything I've said about beliefs also goes for values. Values has the same thing with beliefs. Whatever your parents put on you, your environment, that's going to stick. And you have to really dig deep to understand what values you have. And if they're bad, change them. If they're good, keep them. So now that you've acknowledged that you are indoctrinated, whether you like it or not, how do we fix this? How do we actually dig deep and root out all of these hidden assumptions, hidden beliefs, hidden values? Well, the only way you can do this is through introspection. Deep introspection. This is the only way you can do this. And introspection can be a lot of different things. You should go and find what works for you. Journaling, meditation, just thinking in general. You have to find what works for you, and through introspection, you will find these hidden beliefs. When you keep asking questions, digging deeper, you will find these beliefs, values, and preferences that were put upon you when you were a child. And when you find these things, it will just feel like, oh, this makes so much sense. Now I understand why I behave like this. I understand why I have this value. I understand why I have this preference. Things start to click. And you start to realize that, oh, this is actually not who I am per se. It's just what I've attached myself to. I've attached myself to this belief or this value. And I think this is who I am. But it's just a value I have. It's just a belief I have. And I could change this easily. So introspection is very crucial. And when you just think about personal growth in general, you have to do introspection to get a greater understanding of yourself, to have deeper knowledge of yourself. And through this process, you will find those hidden beliefs and values, and you will root them out or keep the good ones in there. And honestly, this shit should be taught to everyone. Because again, we have a lot of limiting beliefs. We should know this. We should be taught that, oh, when you're older, just make sure to think about your past and your childhood and make sure you remove all those bad beliefs that could be bad for you. This should be just obvious stuff. But of course, it's just not mainstream enough. And I hope you do understand when I say you are indoctrinated, again, I don't mean this in a bad way. I'm just saying this is just what you have to do as a child to survive. So it's not a bad thing. It's not a good thing. It's just a thing that happens. So understanding this is very important. Doing introspection is very important. And I hope you enjoyed this video. Like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.